I see it is 8:30 and the light is on, so we'll call this meeting to order. Certify the open meetings laws have been met, Paul?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We have a 17-item agenda.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions, adjustments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Adoption of the minutes of the previous meetings. Did anybody read all of them?
I did. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Questions? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now enter a public comment period. Members of the public will have a 15-minute block of time to comment on today's agenda items. Members may be present in person, call in to make such adjustments. To comment by telephone, please call 715-538-1894. Public comment may be extended or curtailed at the direction of the committee/board chair after advisement by the committee and board. Is there anybody here in person from the public to comment on our agenda? Don't see anybody. We'll leave it open for a while. If anybody wants to call 715-538-1894. And then we'll move on to the next item. County sales tax update.
Okay, we kind of took a little hit this time. The amount was $191,195.80, which is about $30,000 less than last year and about 40-some thousand of the year before. So we're sitting at $1,755,474.79.
Any questions about that? Okay, thank you, Paul. And the general fund update.
Okay, the only change there is the action that was at county board on the 16th of October for that $312,000. That brings our unassigned general fund down to $4,948,213.09.
Anything else? No? Any questions? Thank you. Quarterly department update. Lori Halama.
Good morning.
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 You should have received my report with your agenda and minutes. Nothing new to report. The interest, we're still reaping the benefits of the higher interest rates. I did hear the other day that the feds or not the feds, but the analysts are thinking that the feds will drop the rates a couple times next year. But you know, that can always change. Delinquencies are higher than where they were last year.
By what kind of an amount?
It's on the report. I'm
Yeah,
showing last year it
I have that
was,
someplace other
okay.
than with me.
last year at the end of September, we were at 739,000. This year it's at 1,051,000.
About 300,000 more.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Should be on your computer thing.
Probably, but you know how long it'll take me to find that? Okay, nobody has any questions for her? Thank you.
Short and sweet.
I did hear this morning that the jobs prospects are slowing down, so that may slow other things down a little bit too.
Why is it slowing down?
The job prospects, the
Oh.
available jobs, or the jobs, new jobs, all that sort of stuff. Okay, thank you. Next one's Rose with the register of deeds.
Okay, I gave everyone the report also, and And,
Happy birthday's in order.
oh, thank you.
Yes.
I hope you guys are all on sugar highs, except Dave. I keep asking or bringing this forward, it's for the ARPA funds, and I realize that probably there isn't going to be ARPA funds left, but I'll keep begging. Everything in our office, the recordings have been slower, and that's kind of the way the economy is going right now, so the recordings are slower, so we have a lot of the staff, and we're actually putting some of or entering some of the data. So on that original request, there was the indexing portion, and that was like $5 per bit or per document. And that is so high because not everyone can read cursive. So that's why we're having, and the ladies in my office can read cursive. So whenever the documents aren't there to record, they're entering the data. So I'm taking that 148,000 right out of that request because it'll take years to get that done, but it's an expensive thing to have on the report or on the request because of the cost of how much it costs. I did have a couple of those documents in there. This is how the writing is, like the birth, death, this is a copy of the mortgage, or of the marriage, but that's the way all of the records in our office look that are that old. And then the census records is on the back side of that. And there's 68 years of schools that we have to enter. And I mean, these are all the schools. I mean, there's just, I didn't even count how many schools there are. There's a lot of schools. So it's going to take the staff a long time to get that all entered, but they're working on it. So, but my request would be $84,924. That's the media conversion, and that probably would have to be rebid because I think that was back in 2022 that I had that request, had them come in and give me an estimate of how much it would cost. And so I just wanted you to take that into consideration. And if not, out of the ARPA funds, maybe I can do it as a special request next year at budget time. It's whatever you choose to
always
do.
try.
I can try. Any questions?
So when you say years on that, I mean, what would your guess be if you?
Oh, Lord. And they're doing it in between documents, so it could be very deep. If we start getting busy in the summer, that's when most of our recordings come in. It could be, a long time. It could be 10, 15 years to enter all those. There's a lot of names and a lot of schools. And then we have the census also. The yearly census, we have the 1880 and the 1905 in our office, and those are books. So, yeah, it'll take them a long time. And it's maybe not important to everyone, but our records they're one of a kind, and they're important to someone. I mean, the genealogists love them, and it's important to them. So it's not something that a person would need today to get a loan, but it's genealogists that would really like this, and it's history.
Yeah, I'm just thinking for a suggestion, maybe if we could extrapolate out kind of how long it's going to take, and maybe even budget for a temporary staff person that has those skills that could come in
And just enter.
for the next 4 or 5 years even, just
Right.
that's all they do.
Okay,
That
I can
might
do
be
that.
an easier way to pay it out than a lump sum for some contract or something,
Right.
I don't know, just an option.
Be an
Okay, I will
exciting
look into
job
that.
for you.
Well, I'm not saying me. But, I bet there's people out there that would love to do that sort of thing,
Yeah.
Maybe, like I said, we could parse it out like paying a car note over a few years rather than a lump sum would be probably better if we could just add your staff or temporary staff or something.
Right. Do you want me to bring that next year at budget time so that you have, what do you want
Yeah,
me to do?
no, I mean, just think about that.
Yep, I will.
I'm not saying you have to do anything, just, as another option.
Yep.
Maybe we temporarily increase your staff just for that, so that you're
An
over and above
LTE.
what you need for normal recordings, and then that's all they do is get that done, knowing that it's a temporary position and it'll go away.
Right,
Yeah,
yep, good. I'll look into that.
cool, okay.
Any other suggestions? You want me to keep coming back for the ARPA funds, or you want me to leave that alone for a while?
You
I'll
can
come
keep,
back.
you can
Don't
keep
comment.
trying.
I'll keep trying, okay.
If you don't keep trying, there's no
24's
chance.
coming.
That's
It's gotta
right.
be
If you keep
designated.
trying, there's a slim to none chance.
Thanks, Dave. All right, any questions?
No? No? Nobody? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9, approved resolution for TAD grant budget adjustment, clarification.
Yeah, I asked to have that put on because you adopted this resolution at the last county board meeting, and law enforcement never had this on their agenda, or they didn't okay it. But I don't know if we should just leave it as is. It's just that the law enforcement did not have it on their agenda to act on it before county board. We found that out after county board.
So,
So I don't know,
So-
maybe that's a,
yeah, I think right
A
behind you might
council
be an
thing.
answer on how we approach this.
Is it on their agenda now?
no. Mm-mm.
Um,
So I was thinking either we just eliminate the law enforcement committee on it and just have exec action on it.
Because we can start the process, we don't have
Well,
to have
yeah,
law
It was a
enforcement
budget adjustment.
adjustment, right. So, unless somebody, to me, the simplest thing seems to eliminate that law enforcement from the resolution. Unless somebody else, anybody think differently than that?
Well, it can be any committee,
It
right?
can be any committee.
So,
Yeah, I don't know.
do we need any kind of official action to remove that from there now, or?
I think you need a vote.
What will these funds be used for?
It's to fund treatment-assisted diversion stuff, so testing, supplies, some programming for people on diversions through the DA's office.
But no county funds are being used. It's a grant.
Pardon?
But no county funds are being used.
Oh, no.
This is the state grant. So this kind of created an account that would hold the monies received from the state that we would be spending on diversion stuff. So this isn't, we're not talking about a county-funded account. This is all creating an account to hold state money that we're gonna spend.
So it's a non-lapsing fund, that they're getting the money from the state, it goes in that fund, they use it for whatever its intended purpose is. It's just another line item on our
Right.
budget.
Right.
Is this one that's timely? It has to be done.
Yes, yeah.
Well, then I would say we just do it. maybe.
Yeah, I think we should just do it,
Yeah.
just change it off of law enforcement, put it on ours, let us sign it, and then that way you can create the account, right?
Yep. Well, I've already created it. And I've already
You can
entered
allow
all
the funds to be put into that account.
They're already put in.
You have to do it.
I'll make a
That's
motion that-
Okay, I just vote on it if you could. just so
Yeah.
there's a-
I'll make a motion and we just accept the TAD grant.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to accept the TAD grant and it basically initiated from this committee.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There.
Or you get to change it now?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna take that part off. In the permanent record anyway.
Thanks, John. The next item up is transfer from the unassigned general fund to the highway department for road construction.
This one might not be quite as easy.
Well, it shouldn't be too difficult here, I don't think, because I think we kind of agreed to that at budget time. But first thing we need is a motion.
Motion, to authorize a transfer of unassigned general fund to the highway department for road construction.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, now we can talk about,
I mean, I want to read it, so everybody knows what it is.
is Paul reading or am I? Paul, go ahead if you are.
Okay.
You knew it.
Whereas the Trumpealeau County Highway Department, hereafter Highway, maintains and constructs roadways throughout Trumpealeau County for the safety and benefit of those that travel such roads each day. And whereas the Trumpealeau County Board of Supervisors, hereafter Board, recognizes the importance of the Highway Department's road construction responsibilities as well as its own budgetary responsibilities. And whereas in 2024, Highway will require for road construction the amount of $2 million in addition to those budgeted amounts otherwise held by and entrusted to the Highway Department. And whereas there are sufficient funds in the unassigned general fund available to cover the amount of $2 million for 2024 highway road construction purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Trumpealeau County Board of Supervisors approves the transfer of funds from the unassigned general fund 101.32100 in the amount of $2 million to the Highway Department account 101.53318.999 for 2024 road construction, highway road construction.
Okay. First thing, I owe corporate counsel an apology for sending you back saying it looked good because it had all the bullet points. And I got outside doing chores and said, holy moly, she used maintenance and not construction in there.
I caught it, yeah. But we worked together on it, so.
Okay, any other discussion?
So on that third paragraph, I just want to make sure that we're stating that right, because if I recall, we already have 671 or 74,000 in the construction fund.
Right.
So should we state that exact number so that we know when the budget is passed, this is what will end up being? Because, I mean, it says in addition to those budgeted amounts, but that budget has not been approved yet. So I don't know if that wording is right.
Trust to the highway department.
To use budget amounts and then like in parentheses, put the amount that's in the budget? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Or change just one word to, I gotta get in the right one again here. In addition to those proposed budgeted amounts,
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
by one word?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. So next question is, do we have the funds in the general fund to have our safety net and still be able to fund that?
That was one thing that John asked me also was, you're at the 4.9 million in the unassigned general fund. This will put it down to 2.9 million. And if you look up at the top of that page too, the desired unassigned for working capital, that 1.8 million is technically in the unassigned general fund, but you've designated it as kind of your cushion.
Right.
Is that, what does that represent in terms of monthly operating expenses?
It's 25% of the next year's budgeted expenses in the general.
So 3 months?
It's actually, well, yeah, it would be 3 months.
Yeah.
And the 4.9 is what's available after the 1 point, I don't,
The 1.8 is taken out, yeah.
is taken out. So that's already set aside,
Yep.
so, sort of. So,
And again, this committee needs to we discussed before, to move forward as to setting that number or setting a percentage there to always keep in that general fund as our backup, to not exceed.
as our backup to the 1.8, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the 1.8 is the 3-month or the 25%? Correct? Yep, Paul's nodding, okay, I got that
And
part.
obviously, that number fluxes, so maybe
Right.
we determine that there's a certain percent that we don't exceed.
Isn't that part of our requirements? We're supposed to minimum, we keep that minimum?
Is there,
The county board did pass a resolution quite a few years back about that 25% of the expenditures. That's the working capital.
Right.
okay.
The other part,
Okay.
you could go down to 0 if you wanted to, but I mean, it's.
No.
Yeah, no. it's-
Well, if we get that interest or our sales tax back up, we'll have a little extra coming at the end of the year.
And interest is still running roughly 100,000 a month more than the budget for the rest of this year, right?
Right.
So,
Well, the budget for this year was 200,000. I surpassed that after the first
Yeah,
quarter.
so.
right, I know, that's what I say. So
That'll
we've
go in the
got
general also, right?
November and
Anything over,
November and
yes.
December of potentially 100,000 a month. There's another couple of 100,000 should come back in, should be available in that unassigned general fund. Just on that, to bring it back up over the 3 million, that
We
is a
could-
number some people like.
Should be there at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, it should be there at the end of the year,
Right.
right. Anything else? Any other? Now, what Bridget was mentioning, is that something we want to consider, adding another percentage to this 2.9 now, that we don't want to go below? I mean, officially make it a resolution, is that something we want to do?
I thought we always had it at 2.5 or something like that. We never wanted to go below that 2.5.
I think it was an unwritten rule, I
Right.
would say. It's kind of.
So I guess what I'm saying, is that still, unwritten rule still the acceptable,
That's an
Process
acceptable
or-
amount, yeah.
or does somebody think we need to make it an official type thing? That's kind of the question here.
But if we take 2 million, we're still above.
The 2.5, yes, we're, right. With potential for it
Yeah.
coming back up again afterwards.
Yeah, we're at 2.9.
Right.
That's good.
So. Well, if there's no more questions, I'll call for the vote on this. All in favor of transferring 2 million from unassigned general fund to highway construction, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Well, that doesn't really have to happen until the end of the year, right?
Well, this will go to county board now in November.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have to actually be transferred out of the fund.
Well, I can transfer it anytime because this will be going into highways non-lapsing account. That'll carry forward to next year, so I'll talk to them and see how they want
Yeah,
it.
so it could still be drawing interest is what I'm,
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
it'll still draw,
Interest until
Wherever it is,
it's funded.
yeah, until it's
My
spent.
only concern with, I'll call it pushing this right now, was so highway knows what they've got to deal with
Yeah,
as soon
they
as
gotta know.
So
possible.
this will be at the November
Right,
county board
yeah.
meeting, yeah,
Well, the highway department's, I'm assuming, aware of this, right?
Yes.
Yep.
very much.
I mean,
When they learned we weren't going to borrow for them.
and the highway committee is all over it. I mean, it almost like this should have come from the highway committee, but
Well, but we're doing it as a budget.
Well, it was during the
Not-
budget, yes.
They asked for 5 million borrowed, and this is what we got them.
Right.
got it, yeah.
Okay. I didn't call for the vote yet, did I? Oh, okay. Anything else? Yes, I did call for the vote.
you did
Yes,
call
I
the
did.
vote.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
we're
vote?
home free.
Okay. Paul was shaking his head no, and I thought,
I
huh?
guess I wasn't listening. Pay attention, there you go. I will change the one word in here and give it to you at county board to sign.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Next item, discuss spending approval and needed supplies for the Department of Public Health Director. Jen? Sorry, I didn't use your last name. I wasn't sure of the pronunciation.
That's all right. It is Como.
Como? Okay.
Thank you for having me today. I am looking for approval on purchasing food items to be utilized within our department. I am aware that there has been denial in the past for purchasing food items. What we would be looking to purchase is small snack items like granola bars and drink items to be utilized during and after our immunizations that occur during or within our department. The reasoning for these items is to ensure that the individuals that we are providing vaccinations and immunizations to keep their blood sugar up so they don't pass out on us during the day. So I know, like I said, food items have been denied in the past. However, I do feel that this is an essential for our operations to ensure the health and safety of our customers coming through. So I am looking towards Exec Finance to get this approval to be a non-lapsing approval for small food items and drink items for our program. These items would be purchased out of general fund since our immunization program funding is very small and just covers our cost of vaccination or vaccines when we have to purchase them, as well as the cost of our nurse to administer them.
Do you have a rough amount for that? Like an annual amount?
I don't at this time. Our immunization program has just started back up again since we have a nurse back in our department. We have not had a nurse in the past approximately 1.5 to 2 years. So now that we have a nurse back in our office, immunizations have started back up. I can tell you that last week, we did have 15 children come through for immunizations. So we're going to try to do as much as possible, but that is still dependent on what our community needs.
So is this something that's in your budget line item already? And if not, how come?
It never has been. I don't have a reasoning for it. I can't explain what has happened in the past. I just need to move forward to the future and essentially protect the safety of our clientele coming in.
Yeah.
I don't foresee it being a large line item, but I really do not need or want it to be denied going through audit.
Do you have an average of how many immunizations you might be giving?
Again, it's dependent. I don't have those numbers right now.
I guess
Because
I'm
I
just
don't know
looking
what
at
it's going to look
Are we
like.
talking about 100 children or 1,000 children?
I don't think we're going to meet 1,000 children.
Neither do I, but.
Because it is very dependent on our schools, what the needs are coming through year to year, and I don't have those numbers, and they, unfortunately, the last time a robust program was operating would have been back in 2017, at which most of our individuals were going to providers at that time. But we have seen the need through our requests from the schools that immunizations are more in need right now with our children.
Have you discussed this with your health board?
I have not yet.
I'm looking at, have you looked at your, not budget, your sheet? Any chance one of your other departments might have a little bit of money that could be transferred to this if we created a non-lapsing account for you?
I don't know why it needs to be, why does it need to be a non-lapsing account?
I
If
don't
was
think,
just
it
part-
does not
If
need
it was
to
just part of the
be.
budget,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
Well, created an account.
yeah.
Sorry, too many words.
I think this is probably a logical thing to use it for, but
Sure.
some of the things that come through, like the trunk or treats or whatever they added,
Yep,
that's not, you're not supposed to use taxpayer funds
right, yep.
for a trunk or treat. Those are supposed to be like the sheriff's office does, they do like the Christmas is for kids, they get donations. It doesn't come directly from the taxpayer. And therefore, this one could be allowable, but buying candy and treats like that is not part of taxpayers. Should not come out of taxpayer funds for programs like Trunk or Treat.
Yeah, but this is more of a
Yeah,
healthcare
this
Yeah,
is
and-
different.
supply.
The
I'm
ones
just
we
thinking
turned
for,
down, the ones we turned down, we actually, because they'd already spent it, for like this last year they did Trunk or Treat, and those,
yeah,
we allowed it because they'd already spent it on the card, it's already been paid for, it's on the card, it's gotta get paid anyway, but it's something that shouldn't be done.
right. But
Yeah.
if we had it on the budget as a immunization supplies,
We do
Right.
have a line on our budget for immunization supplies, and we could just add a small amount going through for, when we go back through for our budget for 2025, we'll add a little bit more in there. But as it stands right now, what I forecast for our 2024 budget, I believe we're going to have a few extra funds available in levy because we have a grant that will be coming down the way for our department. That,
for that kind of thing? or-
not for that kind of thing, but a grant to alleviate some of our levy required funds. So, we will have additional funds in our budget under levy coming 2024 because of this new grant that we have been notified about. So if there's a concern that we're going to go over budget, we will not by purchasing these items.
And I guess I don't have a problem funding this, but I think we need an amount. Because it's, I don't know if I should recommend $200 or $500. I mean, obviously, we know we're gonna use it, but
I
what
think-
number is that?
I think $200 is appropriate when we're talking about purchasing of granola bars or a snack
For
item.
the year? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So then.
And we'll see where we end up for 2024. Again, it is very hard for me to forecast what this next year is going to look like for immunizations because we are kicking the program back up again. And that's why I know you guys have concerns over how much should you approve, and unfortunately, it's just a guesstimate at this time, because we don't know what 2024 is going to look like for our immunization program. We want to provide as many and as much services as possible, but it also comes at the need of the community.
Was
So
this
then,
What got rejected, was that on a credit card already?
What you paid for, you mean?
Yeah, well, but that we,
It was on one of the department credit cards. It wasn't on my credit card.
so can I make a motion?
Yeah, just, hang on.
Okay.
I had a thought, and it might disappear if I let you make a motion.
That's okay.
You're not asking us necessarily for money, you're asking us for
Approval.
approval of
The,
using money differently.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is what I'm asking,
Okay.
is for the approval to use money differently so it does not get flagged going through audit being a food item.
Bridget,
Oh,
Okay,
that's a whole different request.
for an amount,
Yes,
I would suggest 5 rather than 200.
yeah.
Yep.
That, I was right around there.
Okay.
So I would make a motion to approve the spending for food items for the Public Health Department for use, giving immunizations not to exceed the amount of $500 annually
From their current budget,
from,
somewhere in their current budget.
well, but this year they're gonna have to get it from the general fund.
no,
No.
no, they got.
Oh, no. Okay.
She's already putting it somewhere on one of the line items, but when it went through audit, someone says, well, this isn't a legitimate expense.
We haven't sent it through audit yet.
Yeah, okay, well.
Correct.
That's what you're afraid of.
Yep.
Okay.
So then we don't really need an amount
No.
at all.
No.
So I'll withdraw the amount portion and just approve the use of purchasing food items for the immunizations.
Supplies, yeah.
And then
Second.
And a second. Any more discussion?
You have to instruct those auditors to not
What
be
did you
so picky.
What?
You have to instruct the auditors not to be so picky.
Well, no, the audit committee is telling the county clerk's office to be picky. That's where it's coming from.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Jen.
No one's more picky than me there, so,
Who would have thought?
and I approved it.
Item 12, discussion/action allocation of ARPA funds.
Okay, you have, well, kind of an update on the ARPA funds. The action that was taken at the last county board meeting regarding upgrading the radio equipment, that $200,000 that you
Okay.
approved. Actually, all they did on this report was the number right above it, which is the radio towers. That was 1.597. So I reduced that because that's the way the resolution said, to take that money that was already designated for the towers to use for the radio equipment. So that I put down 200,000, then put the 200,000 on the next line for the radio equipment. So the balance still stays the same at what has to be allocated, 1.7 million. And I didn't get the October interest yet, but I was talking to Lori last week, and I think that number now goes up to about $350,000.
Up another 350.
You had that on your sheet that you showed me for paying. So when I only have 300,000 here, more than likely there's another 50,000
Another
that's
50,000.
from October then, that you can use for anything and
Okay, yep.
doesn't have to be designated as an ARPA expense.
Any questions on
I
that?
still think there's something, because he had two resolutions.
Yeah, the one that came out of the general fund and one that came out of here. Let me go back and, where did I have that sheet? The what? Yeah, here's the other one, was the next gen 911, 312,000. That was taken out of the general fund. This one is
Something with
out of the ARPA
But the other one
fund.
was with the towers, so.
Well, that's, yes, because he said he was not gonna use all of this it was 1.5 million?
We're gonna build a new tower in Pigeon, we ended up, didn't have to do that. so
Right.
Right.
save it.
So that's why he reallocated under ARPA funds by the resolution to put the 200,000 of that 1.5 million into radio equipment. And then the other one was a direct transfer from the unassigned general fund for the next gen 911.
But at the end of the day, there was about 32,000 that was gonna come back to the general fund from all of that changing of how he was spending that money.
This money here, the 312,000, is going to be reduced, reimbursed 280,000 he's going to get back. And that 280 will go in there, and that would be about 30,000 difference. So then there still show 30,000 taken from unassigned general fund.
Right.
Yep. Oh, I got it now.
Yeah, okay.
And if I remember right, that on the radio towers, I think the savings was going to be more than that 200,000, so there was
I think it was over 400,000.
over 400, yeah.
So then going one step farther with ARPA, Lori is down to, what did you say you had left for this next payment, 1.5 million?
She told me to bring that.
I didn't think of it until now
I think
either.
it's around 1.5, but that includes the interest we've
Oh,
been receiving.
yeah. Well, we just got another bill from Samuels anyway, and that was 1.5 million.
Right.
And so if she's got 1.5 million left in the savings account for the building construction,
bond.
for the bond anyway, yes, 300,000 of that would be interest, so we're gonna have to start using the amounts that were designated back in July of '22, the 1.5 million and the 870,000 to go
I thought they were
towards.
gonna have funds left over. They figure it's gonna be funds left over to go toward the remodel at one point.
There is
Yes.
704, 710, something like that. That's what's out there now. I mean, we could get hit with something and not know it, but
I thought they were gonna complete the project November 1st.
substantially complete.
Oh.
That's the word.
Someone please define that and we'll be good. But that doesn't mean that we can take that 700,000 and just,
Oh, I was going,
because someone might come back and say, oh, by the way, substantially complete means you still need to do X, Y, and Z or something.
okay.
Okay.
So what's the question?
No, it's just an update.
It almost feels like it's getting a little convoluted with everything here, but,
I guess the big thing is that Lori has a 1.5 million.
Right.
Which includes the $350,000 in interest. Maybe you're gonna have to designate that towards the construction also. That's up to you guys, but, we're gonna start using ARPA money that was designated in July of 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, that's why we did it, I guess, right? To use it.
so how much left do we have from the original building that they're gonna send us a bill for?
I should have brought that with, I didn't. Because they still had a contingency fund,
Right.
even though we've designated 1.5 million for contingency. I think there was only a little over $1 million. I think it was less than 2 million of the bond money left.
You follow what I'm saying? So
Yep.
if it was 42 million, have we spent the 42 million minus the contingency yet? I don't think so, right?
We
Yeah.
spent 43
More than
million.
40.
Whatever the bond money is.
Yeah, we
Right.
spent all of the bond money, even the premium money had to go towards interest payments, so that we couldn't have spent, but yeah, we got. Yep, so in the actual bond money, there's only a little over $1 million left in there.
Which includes, and our budget includes that 700,000 that's in contingency.
I
So
wish I
there's-
would have brought that with down, I should have.
I guess in the end of the day is, how much more money do we have left from the bond before we have to start digging into the ARPA funds?
Like 1.2 million.
Yep.
Okay. So 1.2 million minus the 700,000, if we spent the rest of that contingency, that's your difference that we've got left. But I don't think we're gonna spend all that.
Well, that contingency would be in the 1.2 million. that we-
Right.
Yeah. So then we only have about a $500,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we get a report of that, Paul, at our next meeting?
I will do that.
At some point where we can see where all the breakdowns and the payments and what we've got left?
Should be part of the property committee's
Yeah, I'm
agenda
assuming that
next
they're
Monday as
looking
well.
at that regularly.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice for us to see all of that.
Because the next thing that we're gonna have to consider
Yeah,
is the information we finalize for the renovation project, you know. I mean, the bids came back at like 4.6 million.
I got a comment on that, okay? It was up that high, but in that was also Venture's architectural fees. And we've been paying, Venture for renovation work already. So that's already being taken out of the 40-some million. So we should really go back and get that segregated, because that
But
should
as
come
I-
out of the renovation monies rather than the construction.
But he already had put into the budget for the renovation, 350,000 for,
And they ate that up
Architecture.
already.
so what you're saying is we shouldn't have 4.6, it should be 4.3, 4.25 or something, if we went with that full renovation.
Then on next Monday, we're gonna wanna go back to cutting some things back on that also.
I presume so, I think they're gonna come back.
They
with-
already know that, right? Or is that where we're at?
We wanted to get options for, Tim's here, you were working on that somewhat, right?
Yeah, we will have some, we've already met with department heads and have hammered out something that is livable, but there are objections. We want to present that on Monday.
Okay.
When you say something that's livable, something with a lower number, is that what you're talking about,
We
or?
can't verify a lower number until Samuel's group gets
Okay,
back to us.
okay.
We've provided the framework of what we're looking for. and
Okay.
we're happy to get a general number back, but we haven't gotten that yet.
Okay,
Will we have that for Monday?
That's outside my control.
Yeah. But they're working on it.
We
So
think,
we hope they're working on it.
What's the word? Substantial completion should be by-
okay. Okay, anything else on, with the ARPA? FEMA?
Nothing new to report.
yeah, that's just what it is.
It is what it is. We're patiently waiting for the federal government to give us something.
Okay. Item 14, discussion action on the LATCF grant funds.
That's still that 100,000 plus the interest that we've gained on it that can be used for anything. I was just looking to see
That's probably last year's.
which one.
This is this year's.
Oops, I better get it right here. Well, there's about a little over 105,000 in there now. It's gotten interest of about $4,900 in interest in there.
My thought on that is that should be looked at as going to one more piece of the renovation money, along with anything else you can find out there that we can use for anything.
Remind us what that fund is for, I keep forgetting.
Oh, it was local and tribal.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a
Yeah.
gift from the feds.
Yep.
We got 50,000 one year and 50,000 the next, and so and that was all we're gonna get, is the
Okay.
100,000.
Is that in a separate fund somewhere set aside?
Yes, Lori's got it separate.
Okay. I would tend to agree with you that that's available funds for renovation at this juncture.
Mhm. Seems to me there was a couple other funds or grants or something like that that we maybe could look at to go towards that. Is that something you can put together a number for us by next Monday to,
Well, one was the ARPA interest.
yeah,
What else was there?
Is this a joint meeting Monday again?
joint, yes.
The interest, or not interest, the overage, if we have any of the sales tax would be, because that'll just go back to the general fund, anything that's over
Right.
what was budgeted.
But I think we kind of used that already,
Sales
didn't
tax,
we?
interest, the contingency fund, this LATCF, those four are the big ones.
Yep.
And then, of course, the ARPA funds that we're kind of holding, right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
What is the total of all of that? That's what we're gonna have available to us to make a decision on a
Right,
renovation.
right, that's where I'm going with that.
Well, on sales tax, all we have to do is average for the last 4 months, or the next 4 months is about
134,000.
130, he's got it down pat. So we more than likely will be going over that, so there will be an overage
Yeah, that would
at
be
the
the
end of
last
this
step.
year. Yep. In sales tax,
Yeah, because the estimates for the renovation also didn't include furniture items, things like that.
and you
So
have
it's gonna exceed
designated
that.
furniture of 870,000 of ARPA money.
We're gonna wanna be very selective on that, though. I mean, I'd rather put a wall up in the right place than have new furniture, because we can budget for furniture in the next following years, you know?
Furniture information, where is that?
It was the ARPA. This report.
No, I'm just
Oh,
looking
okay.
for something that I thought I seen left in here on that furniture, not.
Okay, did we,
Let's see, in
I-
sales tax, we probably would be pretty close to 500,000 in there. If we run the rest of the year like last year.
okay. Yeah, that'd be a nice number to have available to us when we're talking renovation next Monday.
Yep, from those 5 different areas.
Okay. Moving on, anything on the 2024 budget?
I keep that on there until you
Just in
pass
case,
the
yeah.
budget, in case you're gonna do any changes or anything that people have come forward and
No, the
Is
only
that,
one I
that's that
don't-
Tuesday, the
14,
14th at
week
10
from
a.m.?
tomorrow. Yep. Coming fast.
Yeah. I didn't come up with any, we had the one the other day, but that was no levy money involved with getting that straightened out.
I'm gonna have to take that virtually.
What's that?
Never mind.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna take a day vacation. You're entitled to it.
Okay,
aren't you?
if there's nothing on the budget, time and date for the next regular meeting. I believe that came out to December 6th, December 4th? Okay.
December 4th, that's what you said, yeah.
Okay,
8:30?
with that, I guess we've covered them. So, turn the meeting at 9:23.